grief. Yet there is no remedy. For a Bloodsmoor Romance, a true history of the Zinns of the Bloodsmoor Valley, must begin on this ignominious day with the unlooked-to disappearance of the youngest Miss Zinn, in plain view, I am bound to say, of her terrified sisters. That the dark-haired and very pale-skinned Deirdre was to be borne away from her loving parents and her devoted sisters at the maidenly age of but 16 is surely tragic. That she was to be borne away in such unwanted circumstances, in an outlaw balloon of sinister black silken hue manned by an unidentified pilot, is so singular and so unprecedented in the annals of the valley or elsewhere that one cannot entirely condemn the gossip-mongers for their cruel whisperings. An innocent child indeed. For what child of good family is not innocent? Yet, withal, was there not something strange about this youngest Miss Zinn? Something wilful and truculent and brooding and indelicate? Was she grateful to have been adopted by so illustrious a family? Was she devout enough a Christian? Was she not rather furtive in her manner, and stubborn in the melancholy of her visage? And though a member of the Zinn family for some 6 years, a daughter and a sister, much cherished by all, was she not curiously faithless? Thus the gossip-mongers. Their ignorant prattle, I am happy to say, rarely found its way back to the family itself, so sparing them additional grief. Ah, Deirdre, how many misfortunes are to follow from your initial misfortune? How many tears must be spilt and hearts rent? Unseemly passions inflamed, precipitant outbursts unleashed to work their evil amongst the faultless, and all as a consequence of a wilful young lady's decision to absent herself from the company of her sisters, in something approaching a dishevelled state of mind, with no thought and no concern for the feelings of others. Indeed, I am bound to confess, here at the outset of my chronicle, that a darksome wave of revulsion oft o'ercomes me at the consideration of all that must be endured in future years by the Zinns, and the elder Kiddermasters as well, as a consequence of this unfortunate episode, springing, as it were, out of the incorporeal air of Bloodsmoor, the warm, luxuriant, dreamy, and golden-hazy air of an autumn day shading to dusk, not long past tea-time. It will not be objected, I hope, that at this juncture I hasten to inform the reader that, though the Zinns are to suffer much tumultuous misfortune, and oft despair at the riddlesome nature of our life here on earth, there are myriad blessings, nay, triumphs, in wait for them. For it is a self-evident truth, as the much-loved poet, essayist, and distinguished man of the cloth, the Reverend Cornelius Potter, has declared, "Through the dismal face of adversity, the sun of our Lord's benevolence ne'er ceases to shine. Nor has God forgotten his especial children, in even this most dismaying of periods in the history of our glorious nation." The mysterious abduction was perpetrated not by night, not even in the somber tentacled shadows of first dusk, but by daylight, and not many hundreds of yards from the white-columned splendor of Kiddermaster Hall. The young lady, it seems, wandered off alone, down the pleasingly gentle and picturesque slope of the grassy lawn, to the river below, quitting the company of her 4 elder sisters, who were sitting in a graceful little gazebo a short distance from the rear of the great house. Perhaps you know the Bloodsmoor River, and are familiar with its wide placid waters, and the eurythmical grace of its motion as it snakes its way with no undue haste through southeastern Pennsylvania, that scenic, that noble river, rivaling the mighty Hudson in its lissom grandeur and in the craggy heights of its granite promontories, peaceable now, and indeed a solace to the wearied eye, though not many decades previous the great river suffered much bloodshed on its banks in the tragic War between the States, Gettysburg being close by, and in numerous earlier skirmishes, harking back to the 1770s and 80s, and beyond to diverse Tory atrocities and mutinies amidst the common soldiery, and in the 1650s to the cruelties of the greedy Dutch against the Scandinavian pioneers who had made some small, valiant effort to settle our valley.